I'm fighting a battle you've already won. No matter what comes my way, I will overcome. I don't know what you'll do, but I know what you've done. I'm fighting a battle you've already won.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. So, curious if you guys know of a guy by the name of Chris Voss. Show of hands or a hop, or everybody knew who Chris Voss is? That's okay. It's not a theological thing. He's a guy who's an expert in negotiating. He's like a former like FBI hostage negotiator, and so he is this expert in like human psychology, particularly as it relates to negotiating. And so now what he does is he trains people. He's got like a master class on how to negotiate. And it might come into play, you know, as I'm a lawyer, and so I've done a lot of negotiating over money. And so we've got a client and we've got a deal, and, you know, people are like, well, we want to like shave 10,000 here. We want another extra 100,000 or whatever. And, you know, we're going back and forth about money, and it doesn't always come down to money. You know, you might be looking for a benefit or a perk or something like that. He actually uses an example, and one of the things he says is, if you're going to ask someone for something, make it sound like, before you ask, make it sound like it's going to be this massive deal. He uses this example for a hotel, and if you've ever gone to a hotel and you've asked for a late checkout, you know, normally like checkout's like at 10 or 11, and you're like, hey, can I get like noon or maybe even 1 o'clock or something? It's an ask. And so he says, well, you know, you got to go down to the front desk and say like, I'm about to ruin your day. Like I have like a really, really, really big ask and a big problem. And this is just, you know, and then like, just make it seem like this is just going to be the biggest request that they have ever heard. And they're like on the edge of their seat waiting for this horrible, horrible thing. And then you say, could I get an extra hour? Could I check out an hour later? And then they're like so relieved and they're happy to give it to you. And, you know, these are the kinds of things that he talks about. And, you know, I'll let you decide how ethical some of it is and some of it isn't, and, you know, and whatever. But the reality is that we negotiate quite a bit. And, you know, if we're like looking for a good deal on a car and we can get it because we can negotiate better when it comes to money, all right, that's fine. You know, nothing wrong with that. But what about when people use it against us? Because it's a two-way street, right? Like, what happens when they know these tactics? What about when they know these schemes and they use it on us? And realistically, I'm sure that people are using these things on us when we don't even know it. But are we susceptible to it? Well, yeah, if we don't know what they're doing. But if we do know, then we can be aware of it and we can sort of defend against it. We cannot fall into the trap. We cannot be deceived by these tactics. And the scripture that we're going to talk about today, Paul writes about Satan's schemes, Satan's tricks, Satan's plans. And Paul, the writer of many of the books or letters that we have that are scripture, in today's letter to the Corinthians, he wants that church, and of course God wants us as well, to be aware of those schemes of Satan so that we aren't deceived into falling into that trap. So if you would, let me pray one more time over the scripture we're about to read, and then we're going to dig into 2 Corinthians 2, 5 through 11. Should be able to put it up as slides. Really, we only have 2 slides today. It's just the 2 pieces of scripture that we're going to be going through. But let me pray, and then we'll read God's word. Heavenly Father, once again, I come before you humbly and just ask that you move. Ask that you speak through me, through your word, through the reading of your word, through the preaching that happens here. And Lord, let through the preaching, 2 pieces of scripture that we're going to be going through. But let me pray, and then we'll read God's word. Heavenly Father, that ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. So we're in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, and I'm going to start in verse 5. Here's what it says. Now, if anyone has caused pain, he has caused it not to me, but in some measure, not to put it too severely, to all of you. For such a one, this punishment by the majority is enough. So you should rather turn to forgive and comfort him, or he may be overwhelmed by excessive sorrow. So I beg you to reaffirm your love for him. For this is why I wrote, that I might test you and know whether you are obedient in everything. Anyone whom you forgive, I also forgive. All right, let me just stop right there, because I want to talk about our backdrop, because we've kind of entered into this story. It kind of feels like midway, right? Like he's making references to things that we don't really have context for right now. So let's try and fill that in. So what we see here is Paul discussing forgiveness in relation to this unnamed individual who caused grief to Paul and to a larger extent to the Corinthian church. Now, we don't know what the specific nature of this offense is, because it's not detailed in this letter. But it was significant enough to warrant discipline from the church community. Of that we can be sure. Now, from the context of this, and because we have Paul's earlier letter, we're in 2 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians was his first letter to the Corinthian church. In that first letter, in chapter 5, we have Paul addressing a case of sexual immorality in the church. So I'm not going to read 1 Corinthians chapter 5, but suffice to say, in that chapter, Paul writes to them to give them sort of marching orders on something that's happening in their church. And what's happening is that a man there who is part of their community, calls himself a Christian, is living with his father's wife. Now, I'm putting that mildly. It's a sordid affair, what's going on, that this son is with his father's wife, and I'll let you fill in the details in your mind. Suffice to say, it was very, very wrong and sordid. And Paul admonishes the Corinthian church and says, how can you allow him to remain there and be doing that in the open and having no remorse over it and acting like it's okay? It is not okay. And he says, you must expel him to protect the community and to let him see that his conduct is wrong. He needs to see what he's missing. He needs to hopefully come to repentance, change his ways, and hopefully come back. And so even in the expulsion, the idea was, hopefully he will come back. Now, by the time that Paul writes 2 Corinthians, it appears, if we assume that this is in fact that man, it appears that this individual has shown genuine remorse and repentance. And what we see here again in chapters, in verses 6 through 8, he says, for such a one, this punishment by the majority is enough. So you should rather turn to forgive and comfort him, or he may be overwhelmed by excessive sorrow. So I beg you to reaffirm your love for him. Paul here is saying, forgive the guy. Forgive him. Apparently there is remorse for this man. He has sorrow. So you should forgive him, bring him back in, or else your continued rejection of him is no longer going to be helpful to him. It's going to be harmful to him. So bring him back in, show him that he is loved, show him that his putting out from the church was out of love, not out of hate. It was for his own benefit. Bring him back in. That was the point all along. Now, there's good wisdom in this, right? There's good wisdom in forgiving someone who has shown that they're sorry, right? It's just good worldly wisdom to say, like, hey, if someone has done something wrong and you've told them about it and then they're genuinely remorseful, well, bring them back in. Don't keep holding it over them. Forgive them and bring them back in and move forward together. There's nothing wrong with that. It sounds good. There's nothing wrong with that. But you see, that alone, that's just simple worldly wisdom. Anybody could be preaching that message, really. You could hear that at a synagogue. You could hear that at a mosque. You could hear it at a self-help seminar, or you could hear it at a leadership conference. And all of it would still apply. How to run a good organization and have good conflict resolution and make sure you've got forgiveness and reconciliation and move forward together as a team. You could hear that anywhere. But you see, Paul brings this concept into a totally different perspective with the rest of the scripture. Check out the rest. I read part of verse 10, but not all of it. Verse 10, anyone whom you forgive, I also forgive. Indeed, what I have forgiven, if I have forgiven anything, has been for your sake in the presence of Christ, so that we would not be outwitted by Satan, for we are not ignorant of his designs. Okay. He's saying we're not ignorant of Satan's schemes, so bring him in. And if I've forgiven anything, I've done it in the presence of Christ. Now, what are Satan's schemes? What are Satan's designs? What is he talking about? Well, if I ask you, kind of off the cuff, hey, what are Satan's designs? What's his plan? What's he want? What's his schemes? What might you say? Well, probably what? Sin? Right? We agree, like, Satan's designs it's rooted in sin. Yeah, that's true. Right? It's sin. But what's the consequence of sin? Why? Why is his plan sin? So if I ask you that, maybe think about it. What is the consequence of sin? If I put you on the spot and I said, answer this, what is the consequence of sin? What would you say? Right off the bat, you'd say, what? Maybe the consequence of sin is hell. Okay. It's not incorrect. Maybe you say the consequence of sin is punishment. Okay. But here's the deal. The real consequence of sin is division. Like, the real consequence of sin is separation. It's division. And you say, well, wait a minute, what about hell? Well, yeah, that's what that is. Hell is separation from God for all of eternity. Like, that's more punishment than anything anyone else could ever imagine. The fact that anyone would spend all of eternity separated from love itself, from the Creator, from the source of everything, that's real punishment. That's truly hell. And everything else, all the other imagery and all of that, it doesn't do it justice. Division is the consequence. Separation is the consequence. And that's Satan's scheme. He comes to divide. Sin divides us from God. We see that in the Garden of Eden. We see that Adam and Eve, they sin, and God must send them out. And he promises one day to remove that division, but in fact, the consequence was separation from him. They walked openly with God, and then they sinned, and then they had necessarily separation from God. Sin separates us from each other. We see that in the garden as well. The minute they sin, Adam and Eve, like, Adam turns on Eve immediately. It's like, he eats and God's like, hey, what'd you do? He's like, oh, it's the woman. Like, he can't get far enough away from her. In fact, he's got Adam in like 4 or 5 words. Adam exhibits separation from both God and from Eve by saying, God, the woman you gave me, did this. Blames God, blames Eve. He is separated from both of them at that point. Doesn't even fully understand it, but sin creates separation. It creates a wedge. It creates division. And Satan loves it. Satan loves it because God is a God of unity. We see it in the Trinity. God could just be one person, but he's not. He's 3 persons in one. It's a unity, an inseparable unity. We see unity between all of his persons. We see Adam and Eve. The design was not separation. The design was unity between Adam and Eve, between husband and wife. Again, we had Adam and Eve and God walking together. So unity between God and man. God's plan was not to create everything and then look at it from up on high and admire his handiwork. It was to walk with us in unity, together, in close relationship. Unity, together, God and man. How about the church? Unity between brothers and sisters. And Satan hates all of it. So his scheme is to separate through sin. But what's the remedy? So if we know that, if we know his scheme, what does that mean? Grifter, I see your message. He just got done seeing his son. Think about that. Think about how Satan wanted to separate a family. And now we're starting to see redemption in that. Praise Jesus, Grifter. We see unity. Satan hates that. So we celebrate it. Now, think about this. And if you've been here, you know what's at play here with Grifter, because Grifter's even admitted some of his own, kind of faults in the whole thing. What's the remedy? What is the remedy? Why is there reconciliation? Well, the remedy for sin and the remedy for division, well, how is it? How is it cured with God? How is our division with God, how is it cured? It's cured with forgiveness. Our separation from God was cured with forgiveness. Right?
Amen.
Without forgiveness, there is a wedge. Without forgiveness, there is a veil. Without forgiveness, there is a division. And make no mistake, Satan's scheme is to create division between every relationship he can. Between husband and wife, between parent and child, between brothers and sisters, between pastor and flock, between teammates, between coworkers. Any place that you can have unity, Satan wants to drive a wedge between people and destroy that unity. That is his scheme. And we are aware of that. We should be aware of that. And if you weren't aware of it, now you are. So how do we deal with it? Well, like I said, forgiveness. But it's forgiveness and it's an awareness that we all now have. And the way that we get there is we've got to combat our pride. We got to deal with our pride. We have to exhibit humility. Because humility leads us to a sacrificial attitude, and then we can move towards forgiveness. Humility leads to empathy, and empathy allows us to move to a place of forgiveness. But Satan tries to convince us otherwise. He's got his scheme. He's got his methods. He's got his psychological tricks, just like negotiators do. All the little tips and tricks and little psychological maneuvers to try and get his way and get us off course the way that we know we ought to go. And his scheme, Satan's scheme, is to appeal to something we all have, which is self-interest. We've all got it, even those of us who are in Christ. Our flesh is still there, and our flesh still wants to save itself. And Satan's scheme, I mean, just in general, it always comes at us, and it seems shiny and good. I mean, there's a reason why the world, and even us, falls prey to Satan's schemes. He's been doing it a long time, and he's really good at it. And he makes these things look shiny and good. He appeals to our self-interest. He says, I'll make you feel better. I'll solve your problems. I'll satisfy your cravings. I'll satisfy your ego. And he does it with unforgiveness specifically. Like, he appeals to that self-interest. Where he's like, don't you forgive them? You see what they did to you? Can you believe they did? You would never have done that to them. How dare they? No, you don't. No. You don't forgive them. You're right. They're wrong. Ends up sounding pretty good, especially when we know, I know I'm not perfect, but I know I'm better than them. Ooh, doesn't that one feel good? Like, we don't need to be at the top. We just need to be above somebody to make ourselves feel better. If I can find one single person that I can look down on, oh man, I'm living large. I'm like, hey, no matter what, I know I'm better than them. That's Satan. That's Satan's ploy. That's his negotiation tactic. He satisfies our craving for justice. They did me wrong and they got to get what they deserve. And Satan's like, yeah, yes, justice is what you deserve. And ain't nobody going to give it to you except for you. You got to figure out how to get justice. Revenge, and if nothing else, you just keep them locked up in your heart and punish them every single day when you think about what they did to you, what they said to you. How could they have said that? Horrible person that they are. And you're the jailer, and they're the person that hurt you is the inmate. And Satan lets you look at them through those bars, make you feel better about your craving and satisfaction and your craving for justice. But it's a lie. Because actually the bars that we're looking at aren't the bars to the other person's prison. It's the bars to the prison that we're in. Because Satan painted those bars, but he didn't tell us he was putting the other bars around us. He wasn't putting them around the other person. He can't. And all we've done is lock ourselves up, acting like the other person is being punished. They're not. They're happy. They're fine. They're going about their business. We're the one in prison to our own unforgiveness. That's how Satan works. He tricks us. And he's just trying to get the best deal that he can. That's his negotiation tactic. That's his extra hour sleep at the hotel. He knows he can't stay there forever, but he just wants another hour. He knows he can't have us. If we're in Christ, he knows he cannot snatch us out of Jesus' hand. We are sealed. We are on our way to eternal life. But while we're here, oh my goodness, can he trick us and try to wedge disunity, get a wedge between us together or a wedge between us and God? And that is, he's happy with that. He'll take it. And because conflict is inevitable, that's where he attacks. Rather than us having a humble attitude towards one another, Satan chirps in our ear with his tactics, waits for that conflict to arise, and then he's got his script. And his script and his goal is to do anything he can to keep us apart, keep us in a state of unforgiveness, keep us in a state of not seeking forgiveness and admitting we are wrong. He wants to keep us from having what we call the mind of Christ that says, I'm no better than anyone else. In fact, I am a servant of everyone else. That's my mindset. My mindset is that I am a servant and everyone else is the master. That's the mindset we ought to have. That's the mindset of Christ. I'm here to serve others. I humbly regard others. Forget my own self-interest. Satan wants to keep us from that. And that's actually what we see in Philippians 2, 4 through 8. Let me read that to you real quick. It's a beautiful image of what this mind of Christ looks like. Philippians 2, verse 4, let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others. Have this mind among yourselves, which is yours in Christ Jesus, who, though he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God to be a thing to be grasped. But he emptied himself by taking the form of a servant. Being born in the likeness of men, and being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. And that's the mindset that we should have. That if Jesus, who is God in the flesh, had the mindset of a humble servant, how much more should we? But we don't want to, right? Like, can we just be honest? Like, we don't want to do that. Not naturally. Like my flesh, right? That's not my natural inclination. And we resist it because we're worried about how that mindset negatively impacts us. In a world of scarcity, sacrifice is costly. But the fear of sacrificing for what we are giving up, that hesitation to just boldly sacrifice things, it comes from a fear. And it comes from us forgetting that God is in control of everything we have. And what does Satan say? Well, Satan says forgiveness is weakness. You're giving up your status. You're giving up your power over that person. What are other people going to think? That you're weak? That you don't, that you can get walked all over? Your position is going to be affected. Not only that, we're relinquishing our ego. We're sacrificing our ego. We're sacrificing being right. Man, doesn't it feel good to be right? We're sacrificing that. And in our hearts, we want to retain a grip on our status. We want to retain our grip on a status of being right. Or powerful and strong and whatever that may be. But it's an illusion. Like we want to be viewed by others positively. We want to be revered even. It's natural. But there's a couple of things with this. Like I said, first of all, that's an illusion. And second of all, we are forgetting or ignoring what happens when we obey. We're ignoring what happens when we serve one another and when we forgive one another. Because look at verse 9. Verse 9 from Philippians 2 goes on, and it shows the result of Jesus' obedience. Therefore, God has highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name that is above every other name, so that at the name of Jesus, every knee should bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. Like, Jesus could have come down and demanded that everyone bowed down to him as king. And had he done that, it would not have been wrong. Like, he's owed that. He's God in the flesh. But he didn't do that as the Son. As the Son, he came in obedience, and instead of being the conquering king that everyone was looking for, he came as the humble servant, not weak servant, but humble servant, the strong and humble servant who went and died for the people. And then what happened? So what did that obedience result in? God the Father exalting him. God the Father making sure that his name was exalted above every other name. It's this amazing view of the interplay between the Father and the Son. And for us, what it means is you don't have to worry about exalting yourself. Because any of your self-exaltation, any of my thinking, hey, look at how good I am, or look at how right I am, look at how strong I am. I was right, they were wrong, and yeah, maybe I used a few choice words, but I made my point and I was right, and I debated them into the ground, and they're really pissed off at me, but I'm right. Look at me. I'm exalting my own name. It's garbage. Nobody cares. And it's counterproductive. But when I humble myself and I serve and I look to the interests of others in humility, in strength, but in humility, God exalts me and not me. He exalts Jesus, because if I am doing that, if I am being humble, it's only because I have the Holy Spirit, and I only have the Holy Spirit because of Jesus. So once again, Jesus' name gets exalted, which is exactly what we want. I don't want my name exalted in any way. I want the name of Jesus to be exalted, even in the things that I do. And that's what we're looking at. And so we can let it go. Can let go of whatever we're holding on to. Let go of this unforgiveness. Let go of the hesitation or the thing that's stopping us from seeking forgiveness. Because when we have the mind of Christ and we know that we are clothed with Christ's righteousness and the obedience that flows from what we do with that, it means that his name is exalted. And our fake, fraudulent praise that we keep on ourselves, the approval that we all desperately speak, it's from our Heavenly Father. It's not even from us. And so this is how we combat the promises of Satan. Satan comes to us with this good deal. He comes to us with his schemes, and we remember this. And we say, I hear what you're saying, Satan, that they did me wrong. But, the thing is that we have the gospel, and we reply with the gospel, and it's a daily thing. Like, we never move past the gospel. And I've heard people say, like, well, yeah, I hear you talking, I hear you preaching the gospel, but we want to get deeper. The gospel is the ABCs, but we want to get into the deeper stuff of Scripture and really dig into the meaning and the deep theological discussions and all that. And don't get me wrong, there are amazing aspects of digging deep and deep and deep into the nature of God, but make no mistake, the gospel is not the ABCs, it's the A to Z, right? Like somebody else said, oh, well, that's the milk and we want the meat. The gospel is not the milk. And guess what? It's not even the meat. The gospel is every atom that makes up the milk. It's every atom and molecule that makes up the meat. You never get away from the gospel. The deepest thing you can ever find about God, that we could ever ascertain about God, is still rooted in the gospel. It's all about that. And so how do we combat Satan's schemes? It's with it. It is with the gospel on a daily basis. And so we forgive. So how does that play out with forgiveness? Well, we forgive because we are forgiven. Like the gospel tells us, we know this, that we are forgiven because Christ came as our Lamb of God, and went to the cross, the cross being the image of the altar of sacrifice, where a lamb was placed up there, the symbol of the atonement of sin, the payment for sin. Well, that cross was the altar of sacrifice for our lamb, but it wasn't just one sacrifice and then we had to do it again. It was the sacrifice to end all of it, to end all sacrifices. And so we look and we call upon Jesus to be saved. And when we do, we know he is worthy because he died and rose again after 3 days. And that's it. That's the gospel. But it's not because of what we've done. It's not because of how good we are. It's not because of the works that we've done or because of our heritage or because we have the right Bible version or because we served a lot or because we cleaned up our act. It's because we humbled ourselves and admitted we are a sinner. We've humbled ourselves and admitted we're the worst sinner. There's nobody worse than us. That's how we get to the gospel, and that's how we get to forgiveness, because we remember that we are forgiven. We don't forgive because we've received justice or because we see that punishment was doled out on our behalf or because we've paid our debt. That's not why. We forgive because we have received forgiveness ourselves that we don't deserve. And we ask for forgiveness from those that we've wronged. When we remember the gospel, we know that Jesus paid for that sin, and he wants unity between us. So we should seek out forgiveness when we've done something wrong, out of love and obedience to the one who forgives us for committing that sin in the first place. So, you know, my wife and I, we've got 4 kids, and this is going to come as a shock to you, but they fight sometimes. And we've got great kids. They're amazing. But even them, as being really well-behaved kids, they will fight with each other. But here's the thing. The nature and the tone and the seriousness of their fighting, of their disunity, is very different depending on whether or not I am in their presence or whether I am not. Like there are times when I'll be with them and everything will be fine and I'll leave for like a couple of minutes and I will come back, and if there is a argument between them in that time, it is so much sharper and meaner and worse than if they're like bickering like right next to me. Because my presence matters. My presence there is a reminder that, hey, like, there's a consequence for fighting. There's a consequence for disunity. And I don't want it as their father. It hurts me when it happens. It's not best for them. I love it when there's unity between my kids. And Paul writes about this, and I don't want us to miss it. Go back to 2 Corinthians 2. And in verse 10, look what he says. Anyone whom you forgive, I also forgive. Indeed, what I have forgiven, if I have forgiven anything, here it is, has been for your sake in the presence of Christ. He's painting a vivid picture there. In the presence of Christ. I want you to think about this the next time you're arguing with someone, or you're feeling mad and unforgiving. I want you to imagine that Jesus is standing next to you. See how that changes your attitude. Like, imagine that he's standing next to you the next time you're feeling mad and unforgiving. Like he's in your presence, just there looking at you. And just talk to him about it. Go ahead. Talk to him about how betrayed you feel and how you're holding on to unforgiveness because of how bad the betrayal is. Tell that to the one who was betrayed unto death by someone close to him. See how that goes. Like, complain in front of him. You know, the one whose friends all left him in his greatest hour of need. Complain to him about injustice. You know, the one who was crucified, innocent, but crucified, to pay for your sins and my sins, even though he committed no sins. Think about the presence of Christ in front of you when you think about unforgiveness, when you think about how you've been wronged, think about how you're holding on to something, when you're angry with someone. Just picture him there with you. Talk to him about that with that vivid visual image. And see if that doesn't change things in the same way that it changes things when I'm there with my kids. I promise you it will. And we forgive and we ask for forgiveness in the presence of Christ. This happened to me today. Like literally today. I was still writing some of this sermon today. And I'm sitting there writing about unity and forgiveness. And just right in the middle of it, I just felt the Holy Spirit just stop me. And I felt like such a hypocrite because I knew that I had disunity with someone that I am very close with, well, had been very close with. But there was a massive wedge between us, and there had been for months. And it was my fault. But I was holding on to being right. I was holding on to being correct. And the Holy Spirit, I'm sitting there writing about unity, and yeah, unity, you got to forgive and you got to seek forgiveness. And I'm writing there and the Holy Spirit's just looking at me. I mean, I literally felt the presence of Christ where he's just staring at me. He's like, you seriously going to preach this right now? Are you seriously going to preach this with this disunity between you and this other person? And I stopped realizing I could not preach this without at least trying to reconcile. So I stopped. And I called this person up. And she was available, and we talked. And I told her, and I said, I was wrong. I spoke in a harsh way. I was not kind. I was not loving. Now, don't get me wrong. The thing that we talked about, this came from a conversation. The thing we talked about, I still think I'm right. Like the thing we disagreed about, the actual subject matter, I still think I'm right. But you know what? I came to a place where I had to accept maybe I don't know every last thing. But even if I'm right, the way that I handled that conversation was easily one of, if not the worst moment that I've had as a pastor. Embarrassing with the way and the tone and the dismissive tone that I had with her. And it wounded her deeply. But I did not repent and I did not apologize because I was sure I was right about the substance of the conversation. And I sat there this morning with the Holy Spirit convicting me and realizing this is exactly what I'm about to preach about. That Satan loves that I'm sitting there thinking I'm right, so I got nothing to do. And I'm listening to the words of Paul. And I'm listening to the idea that Satan's exact scheme is to drive the wedge that exists between me and the sister in Christ that I have. And so I had to call and I apologized unequivocally. Not, I'm sorry, but you. I'm sorry, but, and, I'm sorry that I'm sorry I was wrong. And she received that. She accepted my apology. She forgave me. And instantly instantly there was a supernatural wedge that was removed. It was gone. The veil was gone. The division was gone. And I'm telling you, within 15 seconds, we were back talking about stuff that we had always talked about. It was beautiful. It was really amazing, actually, because usually like what happens is the examples of application from the sermon come like in the week after. This one was before it was even preached. Like it was literally had the example of it before I even got to preach it. But it was just a beautiful example of what obedience looks like. And yet the question is, where's the justice? Like, I hurt my friend. With my words, I wounded my friend, and it wasn't her fault. She had no fault. I used my words, I wounded her. And then I just repent. I apologize. She accepts. She forgives me. And now we're good. Where's the justice? I didn't pay for anything. Where's the reparations? Where's the payment? Where's the punishment for what I did? There was none. Of course, as Christians, we know where it was, right? It was paid by Jesus on the cross. And so that's the reminder, is we forgive because we are forgiven, and we seek forgiveness because we are forgiven. And that is what Jesus wants. He's like, just reconcile. Just seek forgiveness so that this unity can be reestablished, because I've done all the work for you already. You have been harmed. You're forgiven too. So forgive. You who committed this, this wounding. I paid the price for you. So go apologize and get back to the unity. That's what I want. And don't miss this either. And don't miss this in your own life. My friend, she's a picture of Christ. Like, she just got to walk out in a very simple way, in a very small human way, what it means to be like Christ. How? Well, she was innocent. She was wounded, not because of her transgressions, but because of mine. But she forgave me anyway. I didn't deserve that forgiveness, but she gave it to me anyway. I had not atoned for it myself, but she forgave me anyway. That's a picture of Christ. She got to walk that out. Now, yes, she has the wounds, but so did Jesus. And that's the point, is that in the midst of our wounds, we don't cover them over. We don't pretend like it didn't happen. We acknowledge it happened and reconcile, come back to unity, and move to a new version of the relationship, a resurrected version of the relationship that is better than it was before. That's the picture of unity and forgiveness that we ought to have. So, when we think about our conflict, when you think about disunity perhaps that you've got with someone or people, understand that it's not just about that. Like, do you really think that the argument that you're having is just about, say, money? Do you think it's just about, somebody gossiped? You really think that fight is just about some, critical word that somebody spoke to you? It's not just about that. All of this is just a mere shadow of what's really going on, and it's Satan's schemes. It's a spiritual war. So here's the charge to you. Where is the disunity in your life? Where do you see it? Stop saying it's an earthly problem. Stop saying it's because of this or that and it's an earthly thing. It's because this. It's because of this and it's because of that, and this is their personality and it's just that, and they always, like, we say that. It's like, God, they always. He's like, yeah, you always. Like, this is a spiritual war that we are fighting. It's not just about that. And so the answer for us is this. The answer is to seek unity in the presence of Christ and allowing God to exalt us as we obey, as we seek forgiveness and we seek to forgive one another radically in the name of Jesus. Let me pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you once again. And Lord, I pray that if there is anyone here that is mired in disunity, that you would allow them to see it, allow them to understand that there is so much more going on than just the person or people that they're dealing with, that there are spiritual issues going on, and ultimately Satan's scheme is any way, shape, or form to put that wedge there. And so let them see that their enemy isn't the other person. Their enemy is Satan. And he's tricking us, deceiving us into allowing these divisions to exist between us. Lord, convict us, please, through the power of the Holy Spirit. Strengthen us to admit our faults, to seek forgiveness, to let go and sacrifice our ego, and to have the mind of Christ, which says that we are just here to serve one another. Lift all this up in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right. Hey, this is the point where we do Q&A. So, if you have a question, now would be the time to raise that hand. We'll do our best to see you. We'll broadcast you. You can ask it. And then